Well, Leo, it's great to have your company again here in April 2021. I'm Didici from astrology.com.au. Most of you know me as the director and astrologer there. For those of you that are new, welcome. Great to have your company. I'm looking here at your chart for April. I'm going to animate it. And the big focus, a couple of pairs of planets here, the Sun and Venus, which I've been talking about for a while. Venus being combust, and this is your career planet, showing some struggles that are going on there. Also, we see the 3rd of April, that trine aspect from the moon, which can be somewhat fortifying, but the moon moves fairly quickly, and you can see the sort of kaleidoscopic effect that it has, even on an hourly basis here. There's the 6th house, again a workplace in your horoscope around the 5th and 6th, which relate to your co-workers. A little bit of a hassle there when it passes Saturn on the 7th. This is the relationship area of your horoscope. I'm more keenly interested in what's happening here. Venus, which has been so close to the Sun, loses all its vibrance and vitality being under the sunbeams, and that's your ruling planet. So if things are not working quite well for you in the workplace, then you really do have to look towards yourself and what it is you're doing to contribute to some of those issues. Here we see a very powerful build-up of planets in the 9th house, the moon, Mercury, the Sun and Venus. I want you to keep your eye here on the moon and Sun, because that monthly transit that is also important, that is the new moon, is taking place here in this 9th house. The 9th house has to do with your higher educational pursuits, new sources of income, and rather new sources of knowledge, which can result in new sources of income. But you see here the movement of Venus. It's not quite escaping the sunbeams. And so notwithstanding this new moon, you've got some new ideas for maybe improving your skill sets, your core competencies to improve your income. We do see that it's what you're doing that is more or less a self-limiting belief system. The 9th house is your belief systems. So it's a good idea to just sort of own that and work towards whatever mechanism you need to improve your skill sets to get ahead. There's the moon, that new moon moving into your 10th house. These planets also will make a shift, and I think you're going to see a distinct improvement in your career, Leo, after the second half of the month, when Venus here on the 15th, as you can see, moves into the career area itself. Now, there's a technical name for this called Malavya Yoga in Hindu astrology. Even though I'm doing a Western chart for you, I still look at those factors. Venus is in its own sign, angular from your Sun, and that empowers Venus to bring with it some really, really good results. Now, bear in mind too that Venus is a very sociable planet. So I think part of your test here is to bring some social activities in line with your work, expand your network base through the people that you know. Mercury fortifies that as well. It adds more weight to it because it rules your 11th house of social activities. I'm getting annoyed here. Sorry. And then the Sun on the 21st moves also into this area. Now the Sun in the 10th house, which is what we see here, is, I'm going to have to shut that down, sorry. The Sun in the 10th house is really a cycle during the year when you are likely to see the best results in your work if you're looking for promotions, some success, and you can see the, oh my God, you can see the cluster of planets here giving you, gee, this is a very, very persistent person. Let me just shut that down for a moment. Hang on one moment. So I've lost my train of thought there. We're talking about these 4 planets in your 10th house, which is related to the career. And you can see bit by bit as the month progresses up until the 30th that there's going to be more and more activity. Whereas in the first half of the month, there was that stress and strain, the combustion of Venus. We see that the movement of these planets and the distancing of Venus from the Sun brings some relief to you at that time. I haven't talked a lot about your relationships this month. I think there's more of a focus on your work, and the full moon there towards the end of the month that I didn't mention there, taking place in your fourth house, I believe, will activate your domestic sphere. That could also be a very delicate balancing act between your professional and domestic activities. The other point I wanted to mention was your thoroughly favourable planet Mars moving to the debilitation sign of Cancer in April in this 12th house. So a lot more spiritual activities are likely to take place under this. But by the same token, 12th house is expenditure. So you need to just tighten that belt a little bit so you don't go overboard. Join me at astrology.com.au. We've got the textual version of this. It'll fill in the gaps of what I haven't talked about. Apologies for the interruption there, but I think we got through this. Drop me a line if you need to. Don't forget to subscribe. And I look forward to your company next month. Bye-bye.